Welcome to the show. I'm Sunny D.
And I'm Captain J. And we're the Pot Smoking Moms.
Whether you're rolling with us every week
or just packed your first bowl,
let's light up together
and talk about our hormones.
Serving perimenopause.
I can't.
Hey, if you like us, please rate, subscribe, share, and be friends with us on all social media.
We have our fans out because we're hot in this studio today. And I was like, I got these fans. So anytime we get hot, we got these. So, So make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, all those good stuff. And before we get started on our special show, let's have a smoke sesh.
Absolutely. We've been kind of already hitting it.
Yeah.
But now you get a chance to hit it if you haven't already. Yes, if you have something to light up, please do so with us. I had to renew my card.
Literally there.
In the parking lot.
In the dispensary.
Yeah, but luckily technology works so very fast. And I was able to get, and well, I don't even want to disclose how much I got, a lot of it. You feel like so rich when you get a bunch of weed, right? But I got Hitchhiker from Connected Cannabis at True Leaf.
Nice. I have some rainbow runts from Miami High Life. Packed in my little bong bowl here that I've already hit.
So me too. Let's finish that off. Lamenting the broken one as I lament the broken.
I broke one today
hitters.
too.
We've had like a crazy day of breaking one hitters today.
Ooh, that was perfect. Let us know in the comments what your session, and if you've tried the strains that we just told you about.
Yeah, man. As soon as I got in the car, because I was like reading up. Again, I always say like, we wish we could smell what we're buying before we say, yeah, we want it. It's not like in recreational states where like you're able to smell it. Mm-hmm. But I went online and kind of like was like, okay, well, it's up between these few strains. And then I started seeing the descriptions and I was like, all right, well, I think this is the one I want. Then I talked to the bud tender and she almost talked me out of it. But I was like, you don't know nothing.
You're like, I don't trust you.
I was like, yeah, because I was like,
I don't know you. Yeah, I don't know your taste.
I had that terp conversation with her. I'm like, I don't like orange, that orangey terp, that mandarin flavor. And she's like, everything's the same to me. And I was just like,
oh.
I was like, girl, no.
No. It's not the same.
You need to try Rapper's Delight. And once you try that, you'll never want to try whatever that terpene
that
is.
will forever be the strain that you refer to when you're talking about.
Because that was like the ultimate. That was like the ultimate of all those mandarin.
If you know, you
flavors.
know, and you know if you were there with us in Colorado.
But I opened, as soon as I got in my car, I wanted to smell that. And I stuck my nose in there. As soon as I got here, I was like, girl, you gotta
keep smelling
smell
it. You keep opening it
because
to smell
it like it activates like it activates parts of your brain. I think when you take a nice deep,
it's really good.
It smells so good.
It smells great.
So I'm very happy with this purchase. It smokes great.
It was like a half full for like 35 or something. A half
full, yeah. I feel like I robbed them. You know, you work your discounts and you get specials. They had a special deal. We had talked about it. I should post about it again just because it's fucking killer. You renew your card and you get the $75 back in credit.
Yeah.
At True Leaf.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a steal.
It is. That's a good deal there. So football is back.
Oh, I know. I wish I had the NFL.
The Dolphins won today. Cue it, Jesse. I don't know if that's gonna work, but hey, we'll see. Yeah, the Dolphins won today.
I know. I was so happy for you guys.
And the Canes won yesterday, so it's been a good football weekend for us. Good. I'm still up in the air with my fantasy teams. You know, like it's been close all weekend.
I should have jumped on the bandwagon. The thing is you guys do it for money. And I'm just there.
We do it for money.
I'm just there for fun.
In the league with your husband.
I know, because I want to be a part of your chat. Because I see him cracking up every once in a while.
You could be in the chat if you want. Because Hector and Johnny are in the chat and they're not in the league. But they were in the league at one point. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Gotcha, that's fun.
So I'm just gonna like add you, and they're gonna be like, "What? Delina joining the league?"
I'd be
And you're
like,
like, "No,
yeah.
I just want to talk shit."
Yeah, exactly. I'm just here for the shit talking and the fun.
So I'm excited to have football back. Today was fun. They almost gave us a heart attack, but it was still a good game to watch. A lot of good times. At end, I went out and partied with a bunch of 30-somethings this week.
Oh, yeah? How did your energy storage compare to the 30-somethings?
I kept it chill. You know, look, the first night was like a party at her friend's house. I left by 12:30, and they kept going for maybe a couple more hours, and that's it. And they were drinking and stuff, and I was the smoker. And I brought like the Blazy Susan queen size pre-rolls ready to like, okay, there's a lot of girls there. Maybe a few of them, like half, I don't know, are going to smoke or something. I don't think all of them were smokers. Dude, it was me and two other people sharing that thing. And it was the one dude that was there because my sister has like one guy best friend that's been a part of the group and best friend with all the girls basically since they were kids. That he's just like one of the girls and he comes to all the things. So that one dude and one of the girls, and that's it. It was just the three of us. And everybody else, it was like,
you know what?
15 people or something there. I was like, they're more drinkers. I'm more the chill smoking person, you know?
Yeah. And if they're drinking a lot, you definitely don't want to offer them some after because that's not fun.
I mean, they weren't going too wild. They're also in their 30s, so they're like chill partiers at least.
Yeah. They're not too wild and crazy.
Yeah. But the boat day was definitely more my vibe because you're on a boat all day, and I just like to be on the water.
Oh, so that's what you guys did?
Yeah, yesterday we chartered a yacht with all the girls. It was good. It was a lot of fun. It really was. But again, they're like a different vibe at a different level. So they were like, it was so cute. I was thoroughly entertained watching these girls just have a blast.
Yeah.
Because they're all girls that have known each other since like middle school and on, and now one of them's getting married, which is my sister. And they're just wilding out and having a good day. You got fun. It's a good time. All these girls and Doug, you know?
Yeah, you support that. You're like, yeah, go on with your bad self.
There's like lots of dancing, lots of twerking. Even some titties came out. Like,
that's a fun party. You're like, yay.
So it was like, oh man, it was fun to watch the girls.
It was a nice day too.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Did you guys get to sands?
No, we didn't go to the sandbar. They went to like a part that has like the little inlet where there's the islands where people pull up their boat to get on the little islands, but we didn't get on the island because the yacht can't go in shallow water. So we stayed in the deeper part, and they just threw the anchor, and then they put that thing where everybody lays on it.
Yeah.
But I was like traumatized after what happened to us.
Girl,
I was afraid that somebody, because we were in an area where people were driving by on their boats, you know.
And then you just start going. You start freaking out because you're like looking around, hoping no boats come.
Yeah, and the worst part was that the guy didn't like turn the engine off of the boat, and it was just like in the back. Yeah, like the smoke, like the exhaust of the boat kept coming out, and with the lily pad like thing thrown there, like we kept floating right in front of it, and it would like we'd get the exhaust gas, and we kept having to like try to like paddle away from it, and we're like, can he turn that off? And they're like, no, it has to stay on because of the AC and the inside, blah 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 blah. But like, don't tell me why. Like the last hour, like last minute, like I don't know what happened, but he turned it off, and the last hour of the time there was awesome because we didn't have to deal with it. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I don't know, man. A lot of these boat dudes are fucking douchebags sometimes too, and it's like you never know what's out there and how much they really know about the boats and stuff.
It wasn't his boat; it was his friend's boat. He was just the captain. He knew what he was doing. He was good, but like, I don't know. Maybe he had his reasons that he couldn't turn it off at first.
Yeah, whatever. Who knows?
But that was fun. And other than that, I've just been like going hard planning this pool party that's coming this weekend.
We got such a fun pool party
coming
up. Yes.
I'm really excited about that. So the pool party is going to be this Saturday, September 14th from 6 to 10 in Fort Lauderdale. You still have a chance to get a couple tickets last minute if you want.
There's a lot. Listen, and this is not like an event. There's not gonna be a bunch of people there. This is an intimate event. It's a little more expensive than like, I don't know, a ticket to the movies. I mean, I would just say you get a lot for your money because we are having it catered. We are, hanging out at the pool. You got so many things to raffle off.
Yeah, there's enough raffle items where everybody's going to win something. So you're going to come away from the event with a raffle item and a goodie bag, which we got really good stuff for the goodie bags too. It's going to have good food. It's going to be fun, a good time hanging out with other like-minded moms.
Have you found any mocktail recipes
I'm looking on the right mocktail recipe. I wanted your opinion on that. If you have any
suggestions for mocktails, yummy and simple, are we going to infuse it?
I had to talk to, like, we could probably cut this out, but I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we should totally
like, how can we find how to do it?
All right, we're going to do that. We don't have to cut this out.
No, we don't.
We're going to infuse those mocktails.
Well, there's going to be some infused goodies. At first, we weren't going to have infused stuff, but then we got the, okay to...
Yeah, the green light.
So let's go ahead. Let's have a little bit, Nothing wild. But we're definitely going to have some goodies in the goodie bag for you.
Yes.
That is going to be fun.
You better roll up. So
if you want to come through, you want to use the PSM podcast code to get your 15% off on the ticket. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, promo code is PSM podcast altogether.
All one word.
15% off. There's a QR. I think there might be a QR on the screen.
Yeah. So
are you okay? There might be one. A QR?
I think there might be. Is it there?
There might be one.
It might be. Your turn.
Oh yeah.
What's been going on with you?
Why I took my kid to her
I'm
first
excited
concert.
for this story.
It was so cute. So
first concert.
Yeah. So my oldest is 7 and the youngest is 5, and this was primarily for the 7-year-olds, really. But me and my husband have been keeping a secret for a really long time, and we had planned. We paid, whatever. We were pricier tickets, but they were well worth it. To go see Imagine Dragons. So the whole idea was like, we're gonna then go to Orlando that weekend. We did. So it was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We have something special planned for you. What are we doing? Well, she ends up guessing because we were like, it's something you've never done before. So ends up guessing a concert, and we're like,
that's crazy that she guessed that.
Yeah, I don't know. She was talking to Robert for a while, so I don't know how they came to that.
Maybe he's been talking to her about it.
But then,
not about specifically going to a concert, but like about concerts.
Yeah, we allude to it. We talk about concerts all the time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who are we gonna see? Who are we gonna see? Well, you have to guess that. Well, if you guess that, then if not, you gotta wait till you get there. You'll see who it is when we get there. So we get there. She still hadn't guessed. We got in, and there were tents that said Imagine Dragons. And Robert was like, read it. And she was like, yeah.
She got all excited.
Yeah, so it was really cool. The little one was kind of cranky.
She was like, but she wasn't feeling good.
She wasn't feeling good. Yeah, later it turned out she wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, pobrecita.
I know, right? She fell asleep during the concert.
Yeah, that tells you.
Yeah, and another mom was like, because there was a lot of parents with their with their kids and stuff.
That's awesome.
It was a good
like
concert.
What age kids did you see?
I mean, there were a lot of different age kids. Primarily, I would say like 7 through like 12.
Yeah. Okay.
Was a
that makes sense.
Yeah. And then there might have been a couple of more younger kids because of whatever, like my situation.
Siblings.
The lady behind me had tapped me on the shoulder and was like, how old is she? And I was like, she's 5. And she was like, mine's is 6. I contemplated bringing her, but I just left her ass at home. And I was like, this is what would have happened if you would have brought her. But the 7-year-old loved it. It was great. Imagine Dragons is a very epic sounding
Kids are
band.
drawn to that because Julian also liked Imagine Dragons when he was like younger. What was that Believer song?
Yeah.
That was the song. That was the song that drew him in. He's like, I like that song.
The Thunder song, the thunder, lightning, and the thunder. Also not too long ago, like, because nowadays we don't even know what the bands look like. We're just like, we like it. They're good. They're great. I had a video that popped up a while back ago that was like, did y'all know this was the lead singer of the Imagine Dragons? And the guy is ripped. Like his shirt, he loses
I've never
his
looked
shirt.
him up.
Whatever, like the guy is ripped. I mean, he has these crazy shows. The guy's running around stage and singing and shit. Like he has to be physically fit.
Yeah.
but he like immediately loses his shirt. It was so
like,
funny because he came out with a shirt and he was singing the first song, which it was off the new album and I didn't really recognize it. So it was kind of slow. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever this is. He was wearing his shirt. Then the next song I think was one of the big ones that was like the lightning and the thunder. That one, bum, bum, bum. And they had like a lot of confetti cannons and like a lot of like pyrotechnics, which were really fun. But then that song, I could have sworn that it was like right immediately his shirt came off. And I look around, I'm like, the guy took his shirt off already? And he was like, his shirt just came off. His shirt just, I didn't even see.
It gets hot up there.
No, it was scorching out there.
Yeah, I would take it off too if I could, you know? Why not?
Yeah. So, and then the band that opened up with them, I don't know if you've heard of them before, Cannons.
No. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you probably have heard of them.
I think I may have, yeah.
Yes.
How are they?
Amazing.
Yeah,
but
I think they've come up on my playlist before
sure.
when I listen to like Jungle Radio.
They have a lot of really good songs. They have that. I was on fire for you.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know that song.
Which,
the girl is beautiful. That's a good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good opener.
That was a bonus because we didn't know who the opener was, and then we learned after we bought the tickets, and we were like, "Yeah,
what a good show! What a great first concert, Sloan.
Yeah,
you got some badass fucking parents.
Yeah, woohoo! We're gonna remember that shit and you do. I think as a kid, like I remember, me and my husband
that
always
is
talk
core
about
memory
the first
for sure.
concert we ever went to.
Yeah, that's core memory for sure. I mean, the first like little like live performance concert that I went to was Boyz II Men, but it wasn't like a full on concert. It was like 4 songs, but it was still like the first time.
Oh my god! But like where? Live. Like where did you see them?
It was at Miami's. It was here in Miami when the Super Bowl was played here, and they had the world's largest Super Bowl party, and they performed there. Oh. And I saw them there. But the first concert I attended is actually Cher with my mom.
Oh, wow.
And that was like back when she released Do You Believe in Life After Love? Which they had on the playlist for the bachelorette party. And when that song played, everybody was like singing it, like woo. And then like this boat was like passing right as that was happening. They were like serenading the boat as it passed. It was fucking hilarious.
That's so funny. I love it.
It was a good time. But yeah, that was my first concert. And then after that, the first thing was Zeta Fest.
Zeta Fest?
Like first festival.
Who was in the Zeta Fest?
It was Stone Temple Pilots, Deftones.
I was there. Was it Veruca Salt?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I was at that one.
That was like in 99, 2000.
Yeah, it was around our senior year.
Yeah, it was during my senior year for sure.
I crowd surfed my first and only time at the Stone Temple Pilots at that concert.
You crowd surfed?
I crowd surfed. Yes.
Wait, is it the same show where Deftones stopped playing and they played Weezer because people were playing too rough? They knocked some girls down or something.
Yeah, they were telling people to like
chilled the fuck out, and they wouldn't. So they played Weezer and like chilled the crowd out, and then they went back into their show.
Yes, and then
it was the same concert.
Yeah,
we were at the same concert, but you were being crowd surfing, and I was just chilling, smoking weed.
Well, I only crowd surfed for Stone Temple Pilots. And I fell, and luckily they picked me up. But I was like, "Oh, that was exhilarating and amazing." But I do not want to like risk getting hurt, so I will not do that again.
That's so funny. It's before we even knew each other.
Yeah, I mean, we were around each other a lot.
We knew the same people.
And we did the same
and went
things.
to the same school.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you.
My first concert when I was little, it was Debbie Gibson. Do you remember her?
Debbie Gibson. It's like a pop star, right?
Yeah, Debbie Gibson.
No, I never listened to her music, so I know of the...
Yes, I was like probably like 8 or something.
That was your first concert?
That was my first concert. And I remember I was crazy. It was amazing. And I remember, I don't know if you ever did you ever buy the tour book? In the merch, when you go to the concert, there's like the merch and you can get shirts, hats.
No. If I got anything, it was a shirt.
I remember getting the tour book. And it was like, personal things of the artist. Cool. And and I remember just upset, just looking at the book over and over again, just looking at the tour book going like, yeah, this is my first concert.
used to do that with all my CD cover books.
Oh, yeah.
I would look at them over and over again, especially if they had the lyrics and stuff.
Right.
I loved looking at that and looking all the art that the artist would pick.
It would be very
CD.
elaborate.
Yeah,
it would be very elaborate back in the day with the CDs.
Now you don't get that anymore. You download a stream or you buy
Well, we like
people
records,
get vinyls,
right?
We get vinyls.
Like records.
Yeah,
we do vinyls.
We do get vinyls also. I did get the new Chapel and Billy, of course, on vinyl.
Oh, you did? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Because, I had to.
Yeah, for sure.
And we get all sorts of stuff. I'm waiting for it to arrive.
It's fun to get vinyl. It really is fun to get vinyl and collect it and clean it and play it. It's a whole experience.
I like vinyl too.
Yeah. So if you guys like vinyl, if you're record collectors, tell us. What is the latest record you purchased?
How extensive is your collection?
Yeah. I think the last one I purchased was Jungle.
Yeah?
It was a Jungle album. Excited to see them again.
Well, before we get on to the show, we definitely want to give a little special shout out to our patrons.
Oh, we love you guys.
We love you guys. We couldn't do this show without you, as we always say. Thank you for always being there, always coming to our events, always going to our annual meetups. I love our vacations.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's the best part.
I was cutting a video recently.
Yeah, that video. You gotta post it on IG.
I gotta post it on Instagram. I will this week.
Yeah.
Instagram is kind of dead over the weekends, I find, right? I don't know. But I just going through all our
adventures together.
And all of our trips.
It was a really emotional little video to actually watch. It's like we've had so much fun together. But thank you so much for you guys. Like you inspired us.
You guys rock our world. We hope we rock yours. Can't wait to do more things with ya. Hey, if you can't become a patron, that's okay. We love you too, and we love talking to you and hearing from you. You can support us by rating our show, reviewing our show, dropping some nice words or some, constructive criticism. Share our show, comment,
Definitely share the show and comment on the video to try to like it. That really helps us to try to get it out to more eyes seeing it. And also supporting our posts on our Instagram really helps. Thank you to you guys that went and interacted with our most recent sponsored post. I think it did very well because our audience was there for us when they saw it posted and they interacted with it. And now a little more people that don't follow us even saw it because of you guys. So
yeah, for real. You guys have to push it in order for it to get to more people. And usually that's ultimately the goal at the end of the day is we want to get into as many ears and eyes as possible.
To build our community.
Exactly.
And with that, I think we're ready for some news.
Bring it on, girl.
Let's go.
News Nugs, where we get high and read the news to you.
So, as we continue on Perimenopause Awareness Month, which is September, we decided to continue doing a little more information with each episode about perimenopause because we learned a lot talking to Erica, and it opened our eyes up to a lot of things. I just realized
your crazy
my fucking allergies are possibly coming from perimenopause because that is one of the symptoms I saw.
The symptoms, the allergy, the random allergy, the itchy palms was one that people identified with. Itchy eyes.
The tingly extremities. I get that in my hands and
at night when you're sleeping,
or just randomly sometimes, and I'm not even laying on it for it to be asleep. It's just So I picked a couple little stories for us to go over before we get into our weed news. So I found this interesting. This is a story from Halle Berry. This is basically how she realized that she was going through perimenopause. So let's go. Halle Berry on her surprising perimenopause symptom that was misdiagnosed as herpes. In a recent conversation at Proper Dailies, a day of unreasonable conversation summit, Halle Berry revealed a shocking discovery about her health journey during a conversation with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. The actress spoke about her eye-opening perimenopause experience that proved how little awareness there is about women's health. The 57-year-old actress shared that she initially mistook her perimenopause symptoms for another. Her doctor's misdiagnosis led her to realize she was in the transitional phase to menopause. First of all, my ego told me that I was going to skip perimenopause. Barry
Yeah,
said.
we all kind of say that too.
I'm in great shape.
I mean, she's got better
I'm
reasons.
healthy. I managed to get myself off insulin and manage my diabetes since I'm 20 years old. So that makes one think I can handle menopause. I'm going to skip the whole thing. I was so uneducated about it that at that time. Barry recounted a distressing incident when she experienced severe pain during after intercourse, which Erica mentioned that in our conversation last week, prompting her to seek immediate medical attention. Her doctor initially diagnosed her with herpes.
She said, I feel like I have razor blades in my vagina. I run to my gynecologist and I say, oh my God, what's happening? It was terrible. He said, you have the worst case of herpes I've ever seen. I'm like, herpes?
Oh my God.
I don't have herpes. Barry says she confronted her partner. Can you even imagine? Like shame on her doctor a little bit for
like, how would you just say that without like doing a test? There has to be a definite test you can test for.
Right. That was kind of like he was putting the cart before the horse. It was weird that he did that. Barry says she confronted her partner, musician Van Hunt, only to discover they were both negative for the sexually transmitted infection.
See, negative. There is a test, and you just fucking go shoot in your mouth.
Right. I realized that after the fact that it's a symptom of perimenopause, the actress said. She noticed that the dryness is a symptom of the transitional period. My doctor had no knowledge and didn't prepare me. That's when I knew, oh my gosh, I've got to use my platform. I have to use all of who I am, and I have to start making a change and a difference for other women. Drawing from her experience to start emphasize the importance of raising awareness and providing support for women navigating menopause. I recognized the need to use my platform to advocate for change, Barry expressed passionately. Women deserve accurate information and support during this transitional phase. Noting throughout the discussion that she had no shame, she says she talking about it will help us change the way culture views women at this stage in our life.
That's crazy. Be like, you have herpes. What?
Yeah.
It shows how little doctors know. You have to like get second opinions, and you got to like trust in what you're feeling, you know, and what you know about your body. Cause sometimes.
Yeah. You can't take first word. Yeah.
So here's another story on perimenopause. How perimenopause can impede women's careers. We must talk about it. So despite impacting millions of women globally, perimenopause often remains a hush-hush topic. Could it be a lack of awareness, societal stigma, or perhaps the misconception that it's merely part of aging? Why is perimenopause, that significant stage in a woman's life leading up to menopause, seldom discussed? Despite impacting millions of women globally, perimenopause often remains hush-hush topic.
Always. Perimenopause, which typically...
Could it be a lack of awareness, societal... Did I say all this?
I think so.
Go
back up. Could it be lack of awareness?
Understanding the silence is crucial to break. Okay.
Perimenopause, which typically begins in a woman's 40s, is marked by a variety of physical and emotional changes. These can range from irregular periods and hot flashes to mood swings and sleep disturbances. Perimenopause is a transitional period in every woman's life, says Shahat Vazdev, nutritionist at
Jaitree.com.
It can be challenging both emotionally and physically, yet these symptoms and the term itself often live in the shadows. Why?
Taboo surrounding female aging. Society tends to glorify youth and often associates a woman's value with her reproductive capabilities and physical appearance.
Lack of accurate information. Many women are not well informed about perimenopause, its symptoms, and ways to manage them. This often leads to misconceptions and unnecessary anxiety.
Healthcare gaps. Some healthcare providers may not discuss perimenopause thoroughly with patients, either due to time constraints or lack of knowledge.
Perimenopause is a natural phase that all women go through, yet it's rarely discussed openly, even among close friends. It's time to change the narrative, acknowledge it, talk about it, and support each other. Mehreen Suvor, 43 shares? What?
That's what she said. Like, that was who said that.
When we start talking about perimenopause more openly, we empower women to understand their bodies and navigate this transition more confidently. The journey towards more frank discussions about perimenopause begins with awareness and empathy.
Yep. What are the symptoms of perimenopause? Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Here we go.
With perimenopause, you may notice changes creeping in. Common symptoms include irregular periods, where your menstrual flow might become erratic or skip months altogether. You might also experience hot flashes, sudden waves of heat that can be quite uncomfortable. Vaginal dryness is another frequent symptom, which can make intimacy and everyday comfort challenging. These symptoms stem from hormonal changes, particularly a decline in estrogen levels that leads to irregular ovulation and menstruation. Though the experience varies, perimenopause can begin as early as your mid-30s and continue until your mid-50s, spanning 4 to 8 years. Understanding these signs can be empowering. Knowing that you're going through this is empowering because it's like, okay, I'm not going crazy.
Sense,
all these new things happening to me that like it's strange. Yeah, and the brain fog is real, and
the mood swings,
and the flat, like all that, and the random things like the food sensitivity and allergies. I had no idea, and that explains so much. And no doctor, when I was telling them I'm having these allergies and I went to the ER, no one ever said anything about my age and about the possibility that it could be stemming from that.
And I wonder if it's too because they're
just trying to see, you're allergic. What are you allergic to?
Right. It's a sensitive topic, and I don't know. People
I don't think it's even considered as a possibility. There's just like, you just have an allergy now that you didn't know you had before, and that's it.
Right.
It's crazy. Anyway, understanding these signs can be empowering, especially since a staggering 70% of women are unsure about what perimenopause entails. Many feel clueless about this transition, emphasizing a critical need for awareness and education. To bridge this knowledge gap, communities like What the Menopause, We Talk Menopause, offer support resources, helping women navigate this significant life stage with confidence.
How does protein support the perimenopause journey? For many, perimenopause can feel like an upheaval. Your body undergoes significant changes, and addressing your nutritional needs can make a noticeable difference. Surprising, one crucial yet often overlooked nutrient this period is protein. Protein plays a vital role in mitigating some common perimenopausal symptoms. It supports muscle mass, which tends to decline as estrogen levels drop. And maintaining muscle mass not only aids in a healthier metabolism, but also enhances overall strength and energy levels. Protein can be the actual support system during this phase of life, as it supports you at the time of decline in estrogen and progesterone, says Chad. It helps with muscle building at this time when it's generally seen to be declined in the perimenopause phase, and also will help you have more episodes of happy hormones by taking care of your emotional quotient.
I've been eating a lot more eggs because that's like an easy way to get protein for breakfast.
Yeah, and you can do it a bunch of different ways, and you can just put it in stuff or add it to something. I understand when people don't like eggs though, because it's I don't know. I understand when people are like, oh, I don't like it, the texture, the taste.
I get it too.
But
I actually like eggs,
it,
and I'm a picky person.
Yeah, eggs, man. It's a superfood.
All right. So, in continuing with women's health, our next story.
CBD vaginal suppositories improve menstrual pain and lead to lower use of painkiller drugs. New study shows. We've talked about this a little bit in the past. When we talk about things that are available to us, we have talked about vaginal suppositories, and I think CBD ones also specifically.
Yeah, a lot of women that we've talked to have told us this suggestion.
Yeah. A newly published study on the use of cannabis to treat uncomfortable menstrual symptoms finds that the administration of a broad-spectrum high CBD vaginal suppository was associated with significantly reduced frequency and severity of menstrual-related symptoms, as well as their negative impacts on daily life. Participants who used the CBD suppository generally reported less period pain, better mood, and lower use of pain medications compared to subjects who underwent unconventional treatment. This is the first study to assess the impact of a real-world, commercially available high CBD suppository on menstrual-related pain and discomfort, or dysmenorrhea, says the report published in the journal MPJ Women's Health. The research extends prior work suggesting medical cannabis has promising potential for alleviating menstrual-related symptoms. Researchers at the McLean Hospital Imaging Center and Harvard Medical School in Massachusetts recruited 307 people assigned female at birth, 77 of whom were given the vaginal suppository Foria, which contains 100 milligrams of cannabidiol, right?
CBD, basically.
Participants were asked about various symptoms at baseline and also completed follow-up surveys after 1 month and 2 months.
Vaginal suppositories can be an effective route of administration for cannabinoid-based therapies. Notably, it was up to participants in the quasi-experimental study whether to request the CBD suppositories or continue treatment as usual. Nevertheless, while the researchers advocate for the findings to be replicated through randomized clinical trials, they said the study outcomes suggest these suppositories alleviated a range of menstrual-related symptoms, improved daily functioning, and reduced use of analgesics. Not sure what that is. Most CBD participants reported at least moderate improvement of symptoms, author wrote, with 72.9% reporting at least moderate improvement after 1 month and 81.1% reporting at least moderate improvement after 2 months. Participants also reported more relief when using the suppositories more often.
Analgesics are medications that treat pain and reduce fever.
Oh, okay. So increased suppository use was significantly associated with greater reduction of symptoms, the report says, suggesting a potential dose-dependent response.
Cannabinoid-based therapies may help to treat menstrual-related symptoms and reduce use of conventional analgesics. The findings come on the heels of separate research published in March that concluded that CBD taken orally helped alleviate menstrual-related symptoms such as irritability, anxiety, stress, and other measures when compared to participants' baseline measures. That study claimed to be the first to examine the effect of cannabidiol or on menstrual-related symptoms, MRS, as well as on irritability in general. There's not enough CBD in the world. Results revealed reductions in MRS, irritability, anxiety, global impression of change, stress, and subjective severity scores when comparing baseline to all 3 months of CBD consumption, wrote authors of that report, concluding that CBD may be an effective treatment in alleviating MRS. While some people have reported using CBD-infused products such as vaginal suppositories to ease menstrual symptoms, far more research around cannabinoids as they relate to sex and gender has focused on sexual pleasure.
New research, for example, has fueled an ongoing push to allow access to medical marijuana as a treatment for female orgasmic disorder, FOD, which we've spoken about multiple times. Advocates have had filed petitions in multiple states, including most recently Oregon, Colorado, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, to officially list FOD as a qualifying condition for medical cannabis. The efforts follow separate petitions to add FOD as a qualifying condition for medical marijuana in Ohio, Connecticut, Illinois, and New Mexico. Man, everywhere. The Connecticut proposal has already been adopted, while the Illinois move is still pending following preliminary approval. Ohio officials rejected a similar petition, and a New Mexico panel is scheduled to hold a meeting on the issue in October. Clinical sexologist Suzanne Mulvihill is one of the researchers leading a sort of renaissance in the use of cannabis to treat FOD. A movement, she says, goes back decades to researchers like sociologist Eric Good in the 1970s. In a survey of sexually active women who used cannabis, Mulvihill found that more than 7 in 10 of those who experienced challenges in achieving orgasm reported that cannabis use increased their orgasm ease, 71%, and frequency, 72.9%. 2/3, or 67%, said it improved orgasm satisfaction.
And there you have it.
There you go, guys. Smoke weed and get it
Science
on.
says it.
Science says do it. A separate 2020 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine also found that women who use cannabis more often had better sex, though there is growing evidence that marijuana can improve sexual function regardless of sex or gender. It's for all of us.
It's for all of us. It's for everyone. Numerous online surveys have also reported positive associations between marijuana and sex. One study even found a connection between the passage of marijuana laws and increased sexual activity. Yet another study, however, cautions that more marijuana doesn't necessarily mean better sex.
We've heard that before.
A literature review, I mean, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. A literature review published in 2019 found that cannabis's impact on libido may depend on dosage, with lower amounts of THC correlating with the highest levels of arousal and satisfaction.
This is information from an article we read before.
Most studies showed that marijuana has a positive effect on women's sexual function, the study found, but too much THC can actually backfire and probably just put you to sleep. Yeah. Several studies have evaluated the effects of marijuana on libido, and it seems that changes in desire may be dose dependent. The review's author wrote, studies support that lower doses improve desire, but higher doses either lower desire or do not affect desire at all. Another paper earlier this year in the journal Nature Scientific Reports, which purported to be the first scientific study to formally explore the effects of psychedelics on sexual functioning, found that drugs such as psilocybin mushrooms and LSD could have beneficial effects on sexual functioning even months after use.
I can see that. I feel like when I use psychedelics like mushrooms, I almost reset myself and I feel myself again. You know what I mean? Like I feel more vibrant and like
that song starts, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can make
that was another song that all these girls were singing. They were like, I didn't know it. I didn't know it at all.
That's like, you didn't
the
know
Traveling Pants or something.
I don't know. It's like a period commercial song. It's like I feel like Emma Stone sings it in like has a funny moment with it in a movie where she's like, where someone sends her the card and it's like she opens it and it's like, I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a pocket full of sunshine, and she just keeps playing the card. I don't know if that's probably a different song.
I think it was that. I think it was
me away. That song.
No, I think it was a Pocket of Sunshine thing. I think it was that. I think you had it right.
Those are all like shampoo commercial songs to me. Like period commercials. But yeah, one of those.
Oh my god. So for our next story, when I saw this headline, I was like, what? We have a friend, this story's for our homie Christy, that's moving out to North Carolina. And she was like, I'm going out there. I'm getting out of Florida. I'm going to the mountains. Catch me outside at the mountains.
She got to move to a reservation.
And I'm like, oh, it's not legal there. Like, and it's not even legal anywhere around there. And she's like, it's okay.
Whatever. Where there's a will, there's a will.
She'll figure it out. It wasn't technically legal here at one point either. So
there's a way.
But I get it. We all kind of want to get out of here sometimes. So I saw this story and I was like, damn. Indian tribe begins first recreational marijuana sales to adults in North Carolina, where cannabis remains illegal.
Smoke weed every day.
Yep. That's basically what they're saying. They're like, the Great Smoky Cannabis Company over here.
Not on this reservation. We ain't.
So the first legal sales of adult use marijuana within North Carolina began on Saturday at the Great Smoky Cannabis Company, located on the tribal land of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, EBCI. Members of the tribe voted exactly a year ago to legalize marijuana for all adults 21 and older. The milestone comes after a handful of procedural delays as well as threats from GOP lawmakers in North Carolina who oppose the reform. Outside EBCI's 57,000-acre Qualla boundary, marijuana remains illegal in North Carolina. While the store began selling cannabis to members of EBCI and other federally recognized tribes earlier this year, Saturday morning marked the first time that any adult could walk into the store and legally purchase marijuana products. A video posted to social media on shows a long line of cars waiting to take advantage of the dispensary's drive-through ahead of the opening. None of North Carolina's neighbors, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, or Virginia, has legal adult use cannabis sales.
Double whammy.
So they're like in a dry zone, like a no green zone and nothing around them either. Meaning that the Great Smoky Cannabis Company will be the sole marijuana retailer within a region in the southeast spanning hundreds of square miles.
Yeah. Cha-ching sounds. Notably, products purchased at Great Smoky Cannabis Company cannot legally be taken off tribal land, nor, however, can cannabis be consumed on stored property. We are proud industry pioneers and our hearts are always in it. The company posted on social media Friday, "Thank you for joining us on our special journey." EBCI's moves to legalize and regulate cannabis sales to not just tribal members, but also visitors, has been a controversial affair. Last year's vote prompted blowback from congressional lawmakers in North Carolina and an effort to reduce federal funding for tribes and other jurisdictions that legalize marijuana. Passage of the measure on a 70-30 margin represented not just members' support for the reform itself, but also an assertion of tribal sovereignty.
Rob Pero, I don't know how you pronounce it, but founder of the Indigenous Cannabis Industry Association, ICIA, recently told Marijuana Moment, even outside the region, EBCI's move to legalize and launch sales have sent shockwaves through Indian country, underscoring the power and potential of what sovereign tribes can do. A lot of tribes have already taken action on their own and on their own lands to either decriminalize or legalize in some cases, and now for the betterment of the state, not just their own interests, Pero said. Ahead of Saturday's launch, Great Smoky said the first 100 people in line at the store Saturday morning will receive a free "I Was Part of History" t-shirt. As part of the grand opening, Great Smoky is open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Saturday on Sunday with drive-through sales extending till midnight. The company also announced ahead of the opening that viral TikTok sensation Dogface. What is it? Andrea, what are you doing here? That's funny. Dogface, that's random. Is he from North Carolina?
No,
is he in that area?
But I think he's like,
indigenous. He's indigenous, right? So
yeah.
Dogface, who earned fame over a video in which he drinks ocean spray on a skateboard while singing a Fleetwood Mac song, would be in attendance for the shop's grand opening, as would musical guest DJ X.
Dogface, whose given name is Nathan Apodaca, is the son of a Northern Arapaho mother and Mexican father. In 2022, he made a cameo appearance on the FX show Reservation Dogs. Great Smoky Cannabis began selling medical marijuana on April 20th of this year. In July, the store began always playing with those dates. In July, the store began recreational sales, but only to members.
Was it July 10th?
EBCI
Was it 7/10?
and other federally recognized Indian tribes. Marijuana legalization on the Kuala boundary is expected to eventually bring in millions of dollars in revenue for the tribe. Forrest Parker, general manager of the Kuala Enterprises, said last July that if adult use were legalized, revenue could conservatively reach $385 million in the first year and exceed $800 million by year 5.
Wow.
In March, ahead of the dispensary start of medical marijuana sales, 2 Republican senators wrote to federal, state, and local officials to ask what steps they were taking to enforce marijuana prohibition.
They're like, what can we do to stop this? As our nation is facing an unprecedented drug crisis, that is harming our communities, it is vital to learn what measures your departments and agencies are taking to uphold current federal and state laws, wrote Senator Tom Tillis and Ted Budd. The matter, they added, raises questions on how North Carolina communities will be kept safe. Like, that marijuana is going to be everywhere now. The tribe's moves to legalize despite North Carolina's
Your
ongoing...
hair's going to smell like marijuana. Your face is going to smell like marijuana. Your ears is going to smell like marijuana. Your socks is going to smell like marijuana.
Where are they sourcing the
Your
marijuana? Are they
t-shirts
growing the marijuana? Is there going to be marijuana smell everywhere? Like, they're just going to go crazy.
Did you see the Amendment 4? No, yeah, Amendment 4 commercial during the game?
No.
For Florida?
No, because I was watching on YouTube, so maybe not the same
Oh
commercials.
boy, it was like
Like anti it.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
fuck that.
Yeah, like like talking about they're gonna, because these people are motherfucking
What are
trying
they
to act like
claiming?
people are gonna be killing babies after they're born and shit.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was one of those really insinuating motherfucking commercials where it's, and I saw the banner that Jenny talked about around the corner to our house. It's the church.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, no on 4. And I'm just like,
Maybe feel them.
and then the commercial was crazy. It was like a whole thing that was, you think, but there's a loophole, and it's just like, just fucking leave it alone. Like, just if you're out there and you live in Florida, please, yes,
please,
yes to
Yes.
women's reproductive rights.
For real.
That bottom line, period. It's women's reproductive rights, period.
The tribe's moves to legalize, despite North Carolina's ongoing prohibition of marijuana, drew criticism from other politicians as well, including Representative Chuck Edwards. Ahead of last year's election on an adult use, Edwards, who is not native, authored an op-ed in Cherokee One Feather in their tribal newspaper, warning that legalization on EBCI land would be irresponsible, and I intend to stop it. I guess he didn't do that because it looks like it's happening. So while the U.S. legally cannot block the tribe from passing its own laws around marijuana, Edwards threatened to cut federal funding from the tribe if legalization proceeds. He said legalization he introduced in Congress, called the Stop Pot Act. No, we're not stopping pot here. That would defund governments that ignore federal law. The bill has not progressed, however. Edwards told local news outlets earlier this summer that he planned to remain steadfast in his opposition to legalization.
District Attorney Ashley Hornsby Welch, meanwhile, has said that she respects EBCI's tribal sovereignty, but intends to enforce state law against marijuana.
No.
The mission, duty, and privilege of the 43rd prosecutor district is to enforce state laws. We do not pick certain laws to enforce and ignore others, she told Citizen Times in April. Oh my God.
Prosecutorial
District 43 spokesperson Quentin Ellison recently told the paper that Welch's earlier statement stands as is. ICIA's Pero told Marijuana Moment that EBCI's willingness to navigate the pushback from U.S. and North Carolina officials have been inspiring other tribes attempting to assert their own sovereignty regardless of members' views on cannabis legalization itself.
That's right.
Tribes have decided, at least in some cases, we want to own the narratives, he said. We're going to tell our stories regardless of fear of repercussions and judgments.
You know, like, it's kind of sticky because it's like, okay, you can sell, like, it's on their sovereign land, they can sell it, right? Because they're legalizing it there. But like when they drive off the reservation, when leaving with it, is it illegal in North Carolina just to possess it?
Yeah, outside of that area, then you can get in trouble for having it.
Because you know how it could be illegal to be sold, but not really, like, it's kind of decriminalized, or it's like a minor offense for just possession.
Well, I would imagine that it's like full on illegal in this
it must be.
state.
So, like, do you think these cops would start like setting up little stings outside the reservations and like trying to just get cars of people?
Look,
just
I don't think that they're setting things up, but if you get caught put it past shit,
them.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
As the tribe was trying to get its medical marijuana program off the ground last year, operators ran into numerous delays over matters such as marijuana transportation, lab testing, and banking. One obstacle was that its cannabis production plans involved transporting medical marijuana along a short stretch of state-owned roadway, which Swain County officials said presented a problem.
Yeah, I would imagine they would
like, how are they getting the weed to their, like, they would have to grow it there?
Yeah, they'd have to grow it there. I mean, ultimately, I feel
tribal governments and a handful of U.S. states have entered into the marijuana business as more jurisdictions legalize. Notably, in Minnesota, where state lawmakers passed an adult use marijuana program last year, tribes are leading the way. Minnesota's cannabis law allows tribes within the state to open marijuana businesses before the state itself begins licensing retailers. Some tribal governments, including the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians, the White Earth Nation, and the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe, have already entered the legal market. Wow.
It's believed that in 2020, the Oglala Sioux tribe, located in South Dakota, became the first tribe to vote to legalize marijuana within a U.S. state where the plant remains illegal. In Wisconsin, where Peril is located, indigenous leaders have worked together to craft a campaign called Wisconsin Wellness, which earlier this week held an event at the state capitol in favor of legalizing medical marijuana.
Well, look at that. In 2020 is the first known tribe to legalize in a non-legal state. Interesting. South Dakota, of all, they were really pushing back on getting it there for a while. All right, I think we're ready for some I Love You, Miami. Let's go.
Hit it.
I love you,
Oh, God. All right, so this is actually a follow-up story to last week's story.
Right.
We
'Cause
talked
were all
about
highly offended.
Very pissed off at the news that broke.
And weren't you like super happy to see everybody coming out and like fucking protesting?
Huge bipartisan support, all types of people.
About the Florida parks.
Yeah, about the Florida parks. Yeah, we haven't gotten to the point. We're talking about the Florida parks, basically. We're in I Love You, Miami, so we're all things Florida right now.
They wanted to take
all
of our...
It was like 9 different state parks, and they wanted to like take portions of it.
And hotels and golf courses.
And pickleball courts.
Oh my God, fucking get over yourselves.
Like there's only so much like raw Florida left that we get to enjoy. Like why are we going to develop every little freaking piece of this place?
Yeah.
So people revolted. So this is the story about that, and it kind of goes into the whistleblower that broke the story and how he was fired. So let's get into it because it's a little update. So the state wanted hotels and golf courses and Florida parks. Floridians revolted. Faced with intense bipartisan opposition, Governor Ron DeSantis shelved the plan. It was a rare policy setback for a leader who's used to getting his way. A plan to build golf courses, pickleball courts, and hotels in some of Florida's popular state parks, which became public last month when a state employee decided to leak it, has set off extraordinary backlash against the administration of Governor Ron DeSantis. The plan, shared with the Tampa Bay Times through intermediaries, prompted a series of grassroots protests across the state as Floridians demanded that the parks to be kept intact. Republican leaders from Washington to the state capital, Tallahassee, including some of the governor's stalwart allies, were among those questioning the plan, calling it an affront to long-held bipartisan conservation efforts in Florida. James Gaddis, a cartographer. Sorry, everything's so...
I thought I was going to say cartoonographer.
Yeah, like a map.
Cartographer, a map guy, yeah.
A map person, hold on. James Gaddis, a cartographer for the state's Department of Environmental Protection, who leaked the plan, said in an interview that he had been asked to draw up conceptual land use maps that would have destroyed environmentally sensitive lands and imperiled plant and animal species.
The DeSantis administration initially defended the plan, which it called the Great Outdoors Initiative, as a way to expand public access, increase outdoor activities, and provide new launching options across Florida state parks. It announced a vague version of the plan on August 19, a day before a story with more details based on the leak appeared in the Tampa Bay Times. But faced with an unrelenting wave of opposition, Mr. DeSantis shelved it last week, a rare policy setback for a governor used to getting his way. It was a kind of bruising moment that some in Tallahassee think Mr. DeSantis could face more often after his failed campaign for the Republican presidential nomination left him politically weakened. They're going back to the drawing board.
I can't wait till he's
gone. Mr. DeSantis said at a public event on August 28th. Adding that the plan was half-baked and not ready for prime time.
Half-baked.
Yeah, all right, sure, buddy.
So by Saturday, Mr. Gaddis had been fired on Monday. He opened a GoFundMe account disclosing his identity as a leaker and trying to raise $10,000 to help with his sudden unemployment. By Thursday, he had raised more than $211,000.
Go off. And you got people to make a difference. So all of
It just
this
shows
paid
the
off.
power we have when we all come together on something, which we need to do on gun reform, because these fucking these mass shootings happening like all the time in this country is just out of control.
Yeah.
And that's a topic we all just need to get together on, and do something about. And look, we did it here with the parks.
Yeah.
They stopped it. So, $211,000. That's amazing. So in an interview, Mr. Gaddis called the outpouring overwhelming after losing a dream job. In response to requests for comment about Mr. Gaddis's firing, the state provided a copy of his termination letter. It said he was being fired over conduct unbecoming of a public employee, violation of law or department rules, negligence, and misconduct. A spokesperson for the Environmental Protection Department declined further comment on personal matters. Mr. DeSantis said the leak had gone to an unnamed left-wing group. Didn't they say it was... the Tampa whatever, which Gaddis denied. He declined to say exactly to whom he had leaked the information. Mr. Gaddis said he had just finished a shift at his second job, stocking shelves at a store in Tallahassee, when he received the termination letter on Saturday. It hurt, he said, but he was buoyed by the broad opposition to the plan and the support for his actions.
Hold on a second. So, this guy, he had 2 jobs, and these people were
Yeah, he worked for the state doing the cartography stuff. It looks like he had a second job, stocking shelves, just to make ends meet.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And then
like
they
maybe
fucking
it's
fired
like
him.
part-time work. Like,
Yeah, but still, yeah.
I have no idea
it's so
if
fucked
it was
up.
full-time. Yeah, it is. It sucks when people have to have multiple jobs just to
Yeah,
survive
and then on
here.
top of that, they're like, they were about to get away with some fucked up shit.
Just firing him for telling us what was going to happen when we deserve to fucking know.
No, yeah.
These are our parks where we live and where we enjoy our state. Yeah. So seeing a lot of bipartisanship in the state of Florida, he added, was just awesome.
Before Mr. DeSantis joined the presidential race last year, he appeared unstoppable. He had been reelected by 19 percentage points in 2022 after his meteoric rise as a darling of the political right during the divisive culture wars that dominated the coronavirus pandemic. But he ended his campaign in January after placing a distant second to former President Donald J. Trump in the Iowa caucuses. With pandemic-era political fights, many of which revolved around education, further and further in the past, some of Mr. DeSantis' chosen candidates for the school board seats lost primary elections last month.
Yeah, we didn't vote for those motherfuckers.
Polls show that a majority of Florida voters support constitutional amendments on the November ballot that would legalize recreational marijuana and guarantee abortion rights should they pass. Mr. DeSantis has vowed to defeat both the questions, which would need more than 60% approval to succeed. Nikki Fried, the chairwoman of the Florida Democratic Party, said that Floridians were tired of being lab rats for right-wing policies. Voters are rejecting extremism, she said last week. On Thursday, several Democratic members of Congress from Florida urged the governor to release all public records regarding the park's plan. More striking, however, was a Republican pushback against Mr. DeSantis over the plan.
Not very striking. I'm not surprised people came together on this. Among its proposals were a disc golf course, up to 4 pickleball courts, and 10 cabins at Oleta River State Park in Miami-Dade County, 3 golf courses at Jonathan Dickinson State Park in Martin County, and a 350-room lodge at Anastasia State Park in St. Johns County. Early on, spokesman Mr. DeSantis defended the plan. It is high time we made public lands more accessible to the public, Jeremy Redfern, the spokesperson, said in a statement. How is it not accessible? It's there. We can access it. Just because we can't play pickleball there and golf
Oh my God.
Doesn't mean it's not
Seriously,
accessible.
If I swear to God, I'm so sick of hearing this pickleball shit.
I drove by McDonald's Park the other day, and it's all people playing pickleball.
Yeah.
And they just change those courts that they have there to pickleball courts.
I don't know. I just assimilate pickleball with old white people, and I'm just
everybody plays pickleball now. Everybody that enjoys outdoor activities. Yeah, it's like a thing. It's really popular.
Sport.
It's kind of like racquetball or tennis, like a combination of something like that. Whatever. People are playing. It's getting you outside. They're being healthy. That's fine, but they don't need to do it at our state parks. They can do that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Build, like you said, tear down these buildings, these abandoned buildings that nobody's developing on or whatever.
Whatever. There's so many other places that you can just
get
to.
To remove the proposals forward, the Environmental Protection Department had planned to hold a public meeting around the state on August 27th that would each last 1 hour. In a letter to the governor, the state's two senators, the Republicans Marco Rubio and Rick Scott, and other officials called the brief time set aside for the rushed meetings absolutely ridiculous. Representative Brian Mass, a Republican whose district includes Jonathan Dickinson State Park in Hobie, South Florida, said his office would file public records requests to get answers. Over my dead body, will there be a golf course at Jonathan Dickinson State Park? Mr. Mass wrote on Facebook. I feel like these guys are just trying to make it seem like they care when they don't really fucking care.
The president of the state senate and the state agriculture commissioner and the state chief financial officer, all Republicans, also opposed the plan. Representative Matt Gaetz, a Republican from the Florida Panhandle who criticized the plan, later credited Mr. DeSantis for withdrawing it. He did the right thing, Mr. Gaetz wrote on the X platform. Others might have dug in, but Ron was responsive and thoughtful. Protests had cropped up in several corners of the state, including Mr. DeSantis' hometown, Dunedin. A protest at Oleta River State Park in North Miami Beach was organized in part by homeschooling mother who told CBS Miami that she frequently takes her children there.
Oh, that's so awesome, man. That's awesome.
Outside the Environmental Protection Department's headquarters in Tallahassee were about 150 protesters gathered on August 27. Chris Costello, senior organizing manager for Sierra Club Florida, said pickleball and golf belonged in local parks, not state parks.
Yes, local parks. Make parks where people live, not like the protected areas of our state parks. Anyway, Eric Draper, who directed the Florida Parks Service until 2021 and has worked in parks advocacy for 4 decades, said the outcry to save the parks from the development was unlike anything he had ever seen, organized by the grassroots and fueled by residents' sense of collective ownership of the parks. He added that despite Mr. DeSantis' suggestions to the contrary, he does not believe that the department would have prepared the plan without involvement from the governor's office. They were definitely fast-tracking approval of this and would have been successful, I think, if not for the leak, Mr. Draper said. Wow. They really would have just gone through with this without any public hearings and, talking about it with the public? Isn't it, required to, announce?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems pretty fucked up.
Yeah, for real. Mr. Gaddis, 41, who described himself as a centrist Democrat, had previously worked for a state department, a different state agency investigating Medicaid fraud, he said. But his passions were geography and history, and he jumped at the chance to become a parks cartographer. The job, which he held for about 2 years, paid about $49,300 a year. On his GoFundMe page, donors praised Mr. Gaddis for what he did. Some urged him to run for office. You gave us all a great gift, one wrote.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he really taking that risk and losing that job really saved the parks.
But
and
you know what?
And people came together to help him.
Dude.
So I hope he uses that money to get on his feet and figure out what he wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And he will, because what, $49,000? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, a year to live here in Florida. Are you fucking kidding me?
And then these motherfuckers think you're going to be loyal to them? Fuck you, bitch. Because at the drop of a hat, you fucking drop me like a bad habit.
Completely fucking wrong.
And all these jobs do not care. They will set you fucking free. They will tell you you're fired immediately. So who gives a shit? He did more good doing that than staying working for these fucking clowns. So good for you, Gaddis.
Thank you, Mr. Gaddis. We owe you
Our
a
parks.
lot. Our parks owe you. We all owe you.
Absolutely. Hey, and also patrons, we thank you for being our number ones.
Thank you so much, Yanni,
Destiny,
Lauren,
Christy,
Denise,
Peaches,
Meredith,
Angelina,
Jenny,
Catherine,
Jessie,
Diane,
Gabby,
Leslie,
and Stephanie. Thank you so much, guys. We love you. And become a patron for early access to episodes if we get the episode out early.
You know, hey.
It's a surprise. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's not. But one thing you definitely get as our Discord server access, our regular mom sessions in there. We do, watch stuff together, plan vacations, different things like that. First dibs on tickets to our events, learning about events like when we're planning it and we haven't even announced anything, you guys definitely know first. So if you want to become a patron, check out our page and you can see how you can sign up.
Thank you. We love you. We'll see you next time. PotsmokingMoms.com.
Subscribe, rate, review, and see you next week. Bye.